Okay, so once you push the baby out, we feel like that's the end of labor, but it is not. There is the afterbirth, is what it was called when I was going through my training, which is the placenta. So you want to get that placenta out within 15, 20 minutes after the birth. But at the same time, you have a new life. And so that's really where your focus is going to be. That baby, we want that baby to go immediately skin to skin so you can get the benefits that I spoke about earlier in terms of regulating temperature, regulating breathing, and building that bond, even getting the microbes that are on your skin. It's all about a part of that process of integrating that baby into the side of the womb. So your uterus is still going to be contracting. But it's not going to be as severe and as strong as it was in labor, but it is still doing work. Your uterus is still doing work. Your body is still doing work. And the goal is to get the placenta out of the body whole and complete. Bleeding is normal. Your care provider, whether it's a midwife or OB, will definitely be monitoring your bleeding closely. And sometimes they do give Pitocin or another medication in order to prevent any like excessive bleeding. And the placenta will come out delivered. You can ask to see it. It's a wonderful organ. It has such a beautiful root system of veins that you can look at. And there are also things you can look into in terms of using the placenta versus disposing the placenta. So those are all things you can research as you make your way to this journey. I do want to encourage you to latch the baby even before the placenta is delivered. One of the benefits of latching the baby is that it helps the uterus to contract and tighten up, and it decreases bleeding. So you are definitely encouraged to go ahead and put that baby to the breast, and all the other procedures can happen later. The cleaning, the weighing, all of those can be delayed until after you have completed your birth experience. And even the bathing and weighing can be delayed hours. Let's look in the chat. I see something here. Any downside to Pitocin after birth? I wouldn't necessarily say downside, because the key with the Pitocin is that we want to stop hemorrhaging and bleeding, and so that's the upside to it. If it's not necessary, then the downside would be that you're getting a medication that you don't need. But I haven't heard any real concerns in my experience of like, oh, you don't want to do the Pitocin because of this, that, and another. Typically, if it's necessary, it's time to use it, and it's very effective, which is why even midwives with home births will have Pitocin in their bag to prevent hemorrhaging. And if you're someone who has had low iron or some issues with that before, you definitely want to watch out for bleeding, and so that may be a part of your birth plan.